Let's stop pretending. A lot of young men are wasting their potential, scrolling, simping, chasing validation, drowning in comfort, and calling it freedom. But here's the hard truth. Most men don't fail because the world is unfair. They fail because they keep making the same stupid choices and blaming everyone else for the results. That's not bold. That's not masculine. That's cowardice dressed up in Wi-Fi and weed smoke. Now, before you start getting defensive, listen. This isn't another alpha male rant. This isn't about being toxic or pretending you don't have feelings. This is about the cold reality most young men refuse to face until life punches them in the mouth. By then, it's usually too late. You see, society has changed, women have changed, the job market has changed, technology has changed. But too many men are still stuck in boy mode, waiting for a handout, hoping for motivation, chasing shortcuts, and running from discomfort. Here's the scary part. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your girl, not your boss, not the government, and definitely not your phone. The more you delay leveling up, the more the world will eat you alive and not even burp afterward. I'm telling you this because I've seen it happen. Good men, smart men end up stuck, broke, bitter, or invisible because they thought they had time. They thought one day would come. They thought talent was enough. They thought being a nice guy would get them respect. Spoiler, it doesn't. In fact, being too nice, too passive, too lost in porn, parties, and pleasing people is exactly what's killing your future. Slowly. And the worst part, nobody tells you until you're already losing your edge, losing your focus, losing your sense of who you are. That's why this video matters. Because I'm not here to sugarcoat things for you. I'm here to snap you out of the fog. If you're a man in your teens, 20s, even early 30s, you still have time to course correct. But time isn't loyal. You waste it, it will gladly leave you behind. So let me ask you, are you actually building a future or just escaping the present? Are you chasing goals or chasing distractions? Are you leading your life or reacting to it? These are uncomfortable questions, I get it. But every man hits a point where he either gets honest with himself or gets forgotten by life. And before that happens to you, you need to know the mistakes that are quietly stealing your power. Some of these will sting. Some will sound personal. Some might even piss you off. Good. That means it's working. Because when a man gets challenged, he either rises or runs. And the way you respond to this message might just tell you everything you need to know about your future. So here's what we're going to do. In this video, I'll break down 5 critical mistakes young men are making right now. Mistakes that don't just ruin your finances or relationships, but your confidence, your identity, and your shot at becoming the man you were built to be. These are not just theories. These are patterns I've seen in real life, from friends, clients, strangers, even myself. I want you to take this seriously, not for me, not for views, but for you. Because if you keep going down the same path as every distracted, insecure, attention-hungry man out there, you'll end up just like them, mediocre, forgettable, angry at the world and ashamed of yourself. And by the time you realize it, it'll be too late. So let's cut the noise. Let's get real. Let's talk about what you need to stop doing right now if you want a future you can be proud of. Let's get this straight. Being nice is not the same as being respected, and this is where a lot of young men get it twisted. You might have been told all your life, just be nice to people and they'll like you. But here's the hard truth. Nice guys finish last. Why? Because being nice without backbone is like handing out invitations for people to walk all over you. Respect isn't given because you smile a lot or agree with everyone. Respect is earned when you stand your ground, show strength, and hold yourself to a standard, even when it's uncomfortable. Too many young men confuse kindness with weakness. They think that if they're too direct or too firm, they'll lose friends or look mean. So they play safe, keep quiet, and say yes when they mean no. That's the biggest mistake. Here's what really happens. When you never set boundaries, people stop seeing you as a leader or someone worth following. Instead, you become the guy who's easy to use, push around or ignore? Think about it like this. Would you respect a man who lets others run his life, who never challenges a bad idea, who can't stand up for himself? Probably not. Respect comes from showing that you value yourself enough to demand it. You don't have to be rude or aggressive. There's a difference between being firm and being a jerk. The problem is most young men haven't learned that difference yet, so they either stay quiet or blow up over small things, and neither earns respect. Here's a simple truth. If you never say no, people will never take you seriously. I remember a friend from years ago, let's call him Mike. Mike was one of the nicest guys you could meet, always helpful, always agreeable. But every time a group project came up, Mike ended up doing all the work while others slacked off. Why? Because he didn't say no. He didn't set limits. One day, he finally spoke up. He told the team, "Look, I can't do all the work alone. I need everyone to contribute." At first, people were surprised, some even annoyed. But after that, things changed. His team started respecting him more because he showed he wouldn't be pushed around. Mike didn't stop being kind, he just stopped being a pushover. That's the difference. This one cuts deep because a lot of young men get stuck chasing the wrong things. And by chasing girls, I don't just mean dating or relationships. I mean obsessing over validation from women at the expense of your future. Look, I get it. Attraction feels good. Attention feels good. But when your main focus is chasing girls instead of chasing your goals, you're building a life on quicksand. Here's the truth nobody wants to say. Women don't build your empire, you do. Yet so many guys fall into the trap of thinking that if they just get the right girl, everything else will fall into place. Spoiler alert, it won't. What happens when you put girls before your goals? You lose time, you lose focus, you lose your edge. Instead of grinding to improve your skills, your finances, your mindset, you're distracted. You spend hours texting, worrying about how you look, trying to impress, or falling for drama. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking. Years slip by. The guys who chose ambition over approval are building careers, starting businesses, leveling up physically and mentally. And when you finally realize what you missed, you're left scrambling. You don't have to give up on women, but you do have to put yourself first, goals first, growth first. Think about it like this. If you aren't worth a damn without a girlfriend, then what kind of foundation are you building? I remember a guy named Jake. He was obsessed with getting a girlfriend. Every weekend was about parties, dates, and social media flexing. He thought once he landed a hot girl, he'd be set. But he had no career, no savings, no direction. Meanwhile, his best friend Mark was grinding, working late, learning new skills, saving money and building a side hustle. Mark wasn't perfect with women, but he wasn't distracted by them either. Fast forward 2 years, Mark owns a growing business and is confident with or without a relationship. Jake, still chasing girls, broke and frustrated. The real power comes from building a life so solid that women want to be part of it, not the other way around. Here's another hard pill. Chasing girls often becomes an excuse to avoid bigger challenges. It's easier to focus on social validation than to face the uncomfortable work of self-improvement. When you build your goals first, you become magnetic naturally. Confidence, money, discipline, they attract the right people, including women who respect you. But chasing girls just for attention, that's a dead end. If you want to break free, ask yourself, what am I building right now that will last? Am I chasing feelings or results? Am I living for validation or for value? The most respected men don't waste time begging for attention. They command it by showing up, putting in the work, and walking their own path. So stop spending all your energy on chasing girls and start spending it on chasing your future. Let's be honest, this one hits home for a lot of guys. Porn and video games aren't just hobbies. For many, they become crutches, safe zones, ways to escape from the real world where things are hard, messy, and uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with enjoying games or adult content in moderation, but when they start replacing real-life challenges, relationships, and growth, you're digging a hole that gets deeper every day. Here's the problem. Porn and games give instant gratification, instant escape. You jump in, and for a few hours, you forget your problems, your stress, your responsibilities. Sounds good, right? But the cost is real. You get stuck in cycles of avoidance. Instead of facing your fears or working toward your goals, you numb yourself. You postpone life. Porn rewires your brain to expect easy pleasure with zero effort. Video games reward you for killing monsters or leveling up, while in real life, leveling up takes discipline, sacrifice, and uncomfortable decisions. When you rely on these escapes, your motivation drops, your confidence shrinks, your energy leaks away into pixels and fantasies instead of action. And here's something even harder to admit. Escaping too much can make you socially awkward. When your main interaction is with screens, real conversations become intimidating. Real connection feels distant. You might start avoiding real women because the fake images and stories feel safer, or you avoid challenges because the virtual wins are easier to earn. But life isn't a game. There are no reset buttons or cheat codes. You can't pause or fast-forward growth. Real success demands showing up, even when it sucks. You don't need me to tell you this struggle is real. Maybe you felt the shame, the guilt after hours wasted, or the sinking feeling that you're not living up to your potential. The biggest problem is that porn and gaming create a false sense of control. You feel powerful in that digital world because you control every move, every outcome. But real power comes from navigating the unpredictable, messy world around you. You might think, I'll cut back tomorrow, or I'm just relaxing. But tomorrow turns into next week, then next month. And before you know it, years have gone by with little progress. It's a trap disguised as comfort. Breaking free starts with awareness. Admit how much time and energy you're giving to these escapes. Ask yourself what you're avoiding. Are you avoiding rejection? Fear, failure, responsibility, because those feelings are uncomfortable, but they're part of growth. You're not weak for struggling with this. It's a battle millions of men face, but strength is choosing discomfort over ease. Strength is looking at your habits honestly and deciding what you want more, instant pleasure or long-term fulfillment. There's no shame in enjoying games or adult content in balance. The shame is letting them replace your life. Ask yourself, how much time do I waste escaping? What am I afraid to face? What would happen if I traded just an hour of gaming for 1 hour of growth? Small steps add up. Replace the urge to escape with a real challenge. Go for a run, read a book, learn a skill, push yourself to talk to someone new. It won't be easy. You'll feel restless, bored, even angry at first. That's the fight between your old habits and your new goals. But every time you choose reality over escape, you build strength, you build character, you build a life that no game or screen can match. You owe yourself that much. Wake up before it's too late. Let me be blunt. If you're still treating money like it's someone else's problem, you're setting yourself up for a hard fall. Too many young men act like financial responsibility is optional, like it's some boring adult chore they can dodge or delay forever. Newsflash, it's not optional. It's the foundation of your independence, your freedom, your future, and ignoring it, that's not just careless, it's reckless. You want respect, you want power, you want a life where you're calling the shots. It all starts with money and how you manage it. But here's the ugly truth. Most young men have zero clue what real financial responsibility means. They blow their cash on instant gratification, expensive clothes, nights out, gadgets, all to impress people who don't really care. Meanwhile, they ignore the basics. Budgeting, saving, investing. They act surprised when they hit 30 with no savings, no investments, and a pile of debt that suffocates their options. This isn't just about money. It's about discipline, maturity, and vision. It's about owning your life instead of letting it own you. Look around. How many men do you know who complain about money but don't track their spending? Who borrow without thinking? Who live paycheck to paycheck like it's normal? That's a problem. The harsh reality, life will not wait for you to get serious. Bills pile up, opportunities pass by, stress builds and freedom fades. If you think money will come later or I'll figure it out when I'm older, wake up. That older version of you will be drowning in the consequences of today's mistakes. Financial responsibility isn't about being rich overnight. It's about respect for yourself and your future. It's about making choices now that build security and options later. Too many men confuse having money with being responsible. You can have money one day and be broke the next if you don't manage it. Responsibility means knowing where every dollar goes and why. It means saying no to stupid purchases so you can say yes to investments in your future. It means building habits, like saving a portion of every paycheck, avoiding unnecessary debt, learning how money works. It means waking up to the fact that financial freedom is the key to personal freedom. And here's a truth not many will tell you. If you can't control your money, you're controlled by it. It's that simple. Being financially irresponsible is a silent killer of dreams, confidence, and relationships. It drags men down and traps them in cycles they struggle to break. So here's the wake-up call. Start paying attention now. Stop pretending this doesn't matter. Stop blaming the system, your job, or your circumstances. You have more control than you think, but only if you take responsibility. Track your expenses. Make a budget, even a simple one. Cut what's unnecessary. Save first, spend later. Learn about investing. Get curious about money instead of afraid. Because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Compound interest works for those who start early. Debt compounds for those who don't. Your future self will thank you or curse you, depending on what you do today. You want to be a man who stands tall, who's unshaken by financial storms? Then start acting like one. Financial responsibility isn't sexy or exciting. It's boring. It's tough. It requires sacrifice. But guess what? So does being a man who's broke, stuck, and powerless. The choice is yours. This one might sting, but it's a reality check every young man needs. Too many guys today want everything fast. Instant results, instant fame, instant money. And when it doesn't happen, they give up, blame others, or switch gears without finishing what they started. Here's the truth nobody wants to say loud enough. Success isn't instant. It's built from sweat, sacrifice, and sticking to the grind when no one's watching. In a world obsessed with viral moments and overnight stars, patience feels like a foreign concept. Social media tricks you into thinking everyone else is winning quickly while you're stuck grinding in the shadows. But those highlight reels, they hide the years of hard work, failure, and persistence behind the scenes. The harsh reality is that avoiding hard work is the fastest way to guarantee failure. It's easy to want to skip the tough parts, but growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. The men who move mountains are the ones who show up every day, even when tired, uninspired, or facing setbacks. If you're the type who bounces from one big idea to the next, never fully committing, you're robbing yourself of the chance to master anything. Real skill, real success takes time. Hard work isn't just physical effort, it's mental toughness, it's discipline. It's refusing to quit even when the results are invisible. And yes, it's painful sometimes. You'll fail, you'll get rejected, you'll feel alone. But here's the secret. Those moments build the strongest men. They teach resilience. They separate the boys from the men. Too many young men want the crown, but refuse to do the work it takes to earn it. They want respect, but don't want to earn it. They want a future, but don't want to pay the price. Let me ask you, how many times have you quit something just because it got hard? How often have you blamed your circumstances instead of pushing through? Are you ready to do what others won't, so you can have what others can't? If the answer is no, then it's time to rethink your approach. Hard work isn't glamorous, it's not flashy or exciting. It's early mornings, late nights, rejection, and failure. But it's the only way forward. You have to learn to love the process, not just the results, because success is a journey, not a destination. Embrace the grind. Show up every day. Push past the pain, the doubts, and the voices telling you to quit. Remember, those who achieve greatness aren't the luckiest. They're the ones who refuse to give up. So stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect chance. It doesn't exist. Start now, work hard, stay patient. Because the men who win in life aren't the ones who dodge struggle. They're the ones who welcome it. Let me leave you with this. Here's the real truth no one wants to say, but every young man needs to hear. If you keep making these mistakes, you're choosing to stay mediocre. You're choosing to live a life less than what you're capable of. And deep down, you know it. That's a harsh reality. But here's the bigger problem. Too many men are comfortable with being average. They settle, they make excuses. They blame the system, their upbringing, or bad luck. But the truth? Those are just stories to hide from the hard work of becoming the man they want to be. You want to be exceptional? Then start acting like it. Stop waiting for someone else to save you or for life to get easier. It won't. You have to be the one who wakes up every day ready to fight for your future, ready to sacrifice what others won't, ready to look in the mirror and be brutally honest with yourself, because no one else is coming to do it for you. Now I want to hear from you, your struggles, your battles, your wins. Drop a comment below sharing the mistakes you've made or are trying to stop making. I read every single comment, and I promise you this: I will reach out, not just to talk, but to connect. Because this isn't just a video, it's a movement. It's about men holding each other accountable, about real talk, real growth, and real success. So don't be shy, speak up. Let's build something stronger together. The road ahead is tough, but it's worth it. You owe it to yourself to stop making excuses and start making moves. Remember, if you don't change, nothing changes. Now go on, hit that comment box. I'm waiting. If you're not following Motivation Guru, you're missing the mindset that helps young men stop wasting time on the mistakes that hold them back. But if you are, you're not just hearing what goes wrong. You're stepping up, breaking bad habits, and building the future you deserve. Stay locked in.